zombie corporations or zombie companies. I didn't make that up. That's now a phrase used in the financial press. Here's what a zombie company is. It's a company that doesn't make enough profit to pay the interest on its accumulated debt. The way it works is this. If a company has had at least 3 years, the past 3 years, during which the profits it earned were not enough to pay off its debts, we call it, that is, the financial press calls it, a zombie company. It means the company is in such trouble that not only does it not make the kind of profit it needs, but the profit isn't enough to pay off the debts. Well, then how do they pay off their debts? The answer is by borrowing more, which means you're in a kind of a death spiral as a company. Your situation is getting worse. You're hoping for a miracle, and that's why you're called a zombie corporation. I want to tell you about the growth of the zombie corporate sector in the United States. Recent companies that have been zombies are J.C. Penney, small company you may have heard of. It is now in formal bankruptcy, which is where zombie-like companies often end up. Another one is AMC. That is the largest movie theater chain in the United States, is now a zombie company on the way to bankruptcy. Today, 1 in 5 traded companies, that is, companies whose shares are traded in stock markets, is a zombie. That is double the number in 2013. So in less than 7 years, we have doubled the number of zombie companies in our society. In the first quarter of 2020, January, February, and March, businesses took on, get ready, another $3 trillion in new debt, which is 10 times the amount of extra credit they took on the previous quarter. That's the last quarter of 2019. Debt is spiraling out of control. The number of corporations rated CCC by the rating agencies, which is a company in deep trouble, is now, as of May 31st, 256. That's an all-time high in the history. Here's what this means to get you to understand it. It is no longer, for most American large corporations, a matter of making profits. That's not how they survive. This is not anymore profit-driven capitalism. Well, what is it then? It is debt-driven capitalism. What keeps the companies going is their ability to borrow money. That's how they survive. Otherwise, if they relied on the profit they earned, they couldn't pay their debts, and they would then have to declare bankruptcy, which, of course, is what it actually is. Now you can understand why the Federal Reserve announced a couple of weeks ago that it is going to be regularly buying the bonds issued by corporations to raise borrowed money. So it's not just that the zombies are no longer profit-driven but are credit-driven, but the credit, the borrowing, is ultimately coming from the government. There is no more private enterprise. It's all public now. Think about it. As these companies sink deeper and deeper into debt and to the dependency that debt puts a company on its creditors, with or without government backing, which also cannot last forever.